Well, the people at home are interested in you, General. They're curious about your pearl-handle revolvers.
They're ivory. Only a pimp from a cheap New Orleans whorehouse would carry a pearl-handle pistol.
Yes.
Garage, back with the Detonics. So the reason we're back right away is, number one, there's a couple of things that I forgot to mention that I wanted to cover. And number two, I want to do a little experiment. First, we'll get to the experiment, which is I want to do a follow-up video on this firearm without taking it apart, without mentioning my sponsorship, and to see if this video stays and does not get demonetized, because I have an idea that maybe I can do a video on a particular firearm, talking about its history, showing what it looks like, how it works, and then hopefully that would be able to be monetized, and the video would then be promoted by YouTube, and it would be put up, and it would get lots of views, and it would be basically, advertised by them. It would be put in people's feeds and all kind of things like that, and gain viewership. And there could always be a follow-up video that shows disassembly, reassembly, inside functionality, let's say, where I'm taking it apart and showing, which is what I think is demonetizing these videos, and or just mentioning the sponsorship. And that could be on the second video. And people watching the first video would tune in to the second one. I could mention it in the first one, so then people that are watching would be able to tune in. I think you see where I'm going with it. Maybe I could have the best of both worlds. I don't care if they demonetize the second video, as long as the first video is, bringing in the people, and then the channel would go from there. That I would assume once you get the subscribers, they watch a whole bunch of your stuff. You know what I mean? So that's my plan. So I'm going to just talk about this now. I'm not really going to take it apart or delve inside. I'm just going to cover a couple of things that I missed and see what happens with the video. If you're just tuning into this one, just go back a video and check out the last video on the Detonics if you really want to see the full comprehensive video on it, which YouTube demonetized immediately. So, first of all, I want to thank Irregular. Irregular is the guy, the YouTube channel that I yanked the music from to use, because if you use any kind of music that's real music, you get a copyright strike and they take your video away from you. I don't know, whatever goes on. It happened to me once, and I just left the video up. I didn't care, but hopefully Irregular doesn't mind. I really don't think he will. And this is an awesome channel. You got to check this out. How this guy only has 162 subscribers as of now, I don't know, but that definitely needs to change. This is one of my favorite channels on YouTube. It's just a Canadian dude that does beer reviews, talks about music, plays music, talks about different musical instrument stuff, and music. So if you're actually a musician and into playing guitar, into music, you'll definitely dig what he's talking about. Some of his videos are just on, like, what types of woods guitars are made out of and the different sounds. He's really got a good channel there, and I suggest you tune in. He's definitely an endless form of entertainment. I love this guy. So hopefully, if you're out there, Irregular, and you're watching this, I hope you don't mind me yanking the music off your channel, but man, it just seems to fit so well in with my intros and stuff. So yeah, I'll put a little picture right down there for you to check out. That'll show his That'll show the homepage of his channel. Now, number two, here's a couple of things that I could just point out, make this video at least worthwhile, is I forgot to point out on this thing that if we check out a regular 1911, we'll see the ejection port here cut out in that shape. Let's get the mag out of the way to really see it good. And if you notice, the Detonics, look at the difference here. And this is really interesting. And it's something that I hated that I missed, so I just really wanted to point out. See the difference in that cut right there, right? Now, the reason they had to do that is because the slide on these, because it's smaller, it's going to operate faster. Things have to change. I mean, you put a stiffer spring, it's lighter, and you're going to have to put a stiffer spring. And you're going to have to work the spring. You see how, like I talked about in my last video, how it's real loose and real sloppy right here, that it seems almost like the spring is dead. But then back here, it's like extra stiff, stiffer than usual. So that's how they had to work it in order for it to function properly. But the slide is lighter, so the spring is going to have to be heavier, and the slide is going to travel faster. It's just the bottom line. It's got to travel faster. If it's using the same ammunition as the larger slide, it's got to travel faster. So by traveling faster, the brass ejects in a different way, at a different angle. And they were having problems with it stovepiping, and they had to cut into the receiver like that deep in there to eject the brass properly. And if you see even later on, the later ones, as they went through different incarnations of these, they even cut out a little bit on the bottom here. Even they made this even larger. And let's see, the number two thing that I wanted to mention is, if you look inside here, now supposedly I'm no expert with, as a lot of people like to point out, I'm no expert on these, but supposedly there was work done in there on the feed ramp to allow these things to reliably cycle hollow points. So apparently there's a thing with 1911s where they don't really like to cycle hollow points too well. They don't really work out too well with them, supposedly. And these guys, as well as making this thing a subcompact, also wanted to make it function with hollow points. And supposedly there's some types of, there's a modification here, something how they work the feed ramp to allow it to reliably cycle hollow points. I don't know if any of that is true about 1911s having problems with them. I've shot hollow points. I've shot spear. What the hell is it? I've shot hollow points before. Gold dot, spear gold dot. I've shot out of 45s and never had a problem with them. Out of 1911s, I never had a problem with them. But supposedly it was a thing. So I kind of feel like I'm still forgetting something. But I don't see any reason there why that video should be demonetized. I mentioned the YouTube channel. I pointed out a couple of things that are just on the outside of this firearm. By no means am I showing how to manufacture a gun, right? Well, anyway, that's that. My overall review of this Detonics, by the way, is that it's absolutely fabulous. I fell in love with this thing. And yeah, just how this was reworked back here, amazing. It's like being able to buy something custom. It's almost like it was custom made for you. Small company like that. So anyway, thanks for tuning in. And I've seen some little bit of extra activity on the channel. So if a few guys of you out there are promoting me and telling your friends, whatever, thank you very much. I want to get a little extra boost in viewership. I really want to try to get the videos up on people's feeds. I want them to be like recommended, you know what I mean? And then I think if that happens, I'd be able to do more with the videos without instant demonetization, you know what I mean? Because they don't even think about it. They just demonetize my videos immediately. So that's the story, guys. Thanks for tuning in, and see you all next time. Oh, by the way, I got a couple of interesting things lined up, you know what I mean? I got like a shotgun, I got a rifle I could do, but I got another handgun. It's like right on the back burner. I'm putting together stuff, and I'm doing some editing and putting together some video clips for it and everything, and this thing is gonna blow your mind. So stay tuned. Later.